Oh, okay. So it's doing. Oh, there we go. We are live, you guys. Okay, we're live. It's Friday, and I want to get started. I am. Oh, gotta turn the phone off. I am Dominique, host of the Domino Effect. And how are you guys? How was your week? Okay, how are you feeling? Right? Has anybody asked you that today? How are you feeling right now? Did you get everything that you needed to get done this week, or are some things that are still on your to-do list? I still have things to get done on mine. Um, how are you doing? Right? How was your week? Are you finishing it off strong? I'm in a different room today, you guys, so sorry if my light is going in and out. But some pretty cool, exciting updates. I've got my daughter broke my ring light, so that's why all my stuff is a little off. But we've got a new one coming, so yay, happy for that. But I ask, how was your week? Because this week has been crazy for me. All right, y'all. Um, this week has been a lot of internal reflection, a lot of looking at reviewing of the business model and internal structures, but mostly a lot of inner work, right? So, one tip that I have for you guys as you are building your businesses or as you're starting, or even if you've already established, give yourself some grace, okay? One thing I'll tell you, and I can tell you this from personal experience, do not make or try not to make impulsive decisions, right? What do I mean by that? Well, I mean, just take a pause, slow down. And this could be with anything, right? This could be how you respond to your partner, how you respond to your children, right? Are you snappy, because you're frustrated, because you're tired, right? I don't want to keep working, right? Um, or is it in, your business, right? So, couple things for you to think about, and we'll dive into that a little bit more in the back office in our group. So guys, I want you guys to be following, and this light is really bothering me. So if I seem a little distracted, that's why, because I just can't stand it. Okay, this is going to have to work for now. So, guys, I want you to hit that follow button, hit that like button. I'm Dominique, host of the Domino Effect. We are a online platform that helps businesses, especially female founders, establish a foundation and then matches these founders to funders, even if you've been denied by the bank. So, we are not just a funding platform, you guys, because it's not just about the funding. It's about the strategies to get there, right? So that's what we cover here. That's what we do here at the Domino Effect. I want you to hit that follow button. I want you to hit that like button if the information resonates with you. If you are a woman in business, if you support women in business, then guys, go ahead and subscribe to this channel, because that's exactly what we talk about here. All of the really cool tips, tricks, resources that you can utilize in your business, and also share with you some stories and some lessons, right? Used to be called mistakes, but we're going to call them lessons now. Okay, you guys, some lessons that I have learned along the way, and that my clients have learned along the way, that I'm sharing with you so that you don't have to find out the hard way. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys. So let's get into it, because today we're talking about how you can apply for an SBA loan. And everybody wants an SBA loan, right? And there's a reason for that. You can get better rates, you can get better terms, you can get longer terms, right? They do 10 years, 20 years. So a lot of people are very attracted to the SBA loan. And as an entrepreneur, you can get a very low interest rate, right? Like I was saying. And that means that you can get a very large amount of money for a very small payment, okay? Makes it when you're thinking about when you can go and look for traditional bank financing, most businesses are going to get denied. So the SBA, right, is a government-backed loan, and they partner with banks to be able to issue these loans. Banks, CDFIs, community banks, ones that are approved to be able to distribute these types of loans. And so a lot of people, are interested in these. But what a lot of people don't know is they can be difficult to qualify for because they do have, requirements and restrictions on how to go about the application process, right? So I want to dive into that today, you guys, because even though you might not yet be at the point where you're ready to go in and start applying for an SBA loan, what do we always talk about here, right? What do we always talk about? We talk about being prepared and how to leverage that, because you've got to be twice as good. That's just the facts, okay? In order to really do well, we have to just be twice as good, especially as a woman or a woman of color, diverse business. It doesn't matter. There are biases that have been systemically put in place. Now you can either complain about it or we can attack it, right, and create some new avenues of accessing capital. So that's what we're doing right now today. So I like to go into a meeting with purpose and leave with direction. So let's go ahead and get started, you guys. So first, you want to be familiar with the SBA underwriting guidelines. Okay, we talked about the requirements to get approved, right? But you can go to their website. You can go to sba.gov. And if you need the links, I can put it up in the back office in the group. If you guys are in the group, I'll go ahead and shoot that link up there and you can go check it out. But go to that website. And you will need to have a business that operates in the US, okay? That may seem like, oh, okay, I know what you're saying, but I have to make that very clear because we do have people reaching out outside of the US. You need to have a business in the US to be seeking the funding, right? You have to be profitable. And then also they're really looking for cash flow, credit, or collateral. So let's talk about your cash flow, right? Your cash flow, they're going to look at your bank statements. They want to see your profit and loss statements. They want to see your balance sheets, your tax returns. But guys, I don't want you to be like, oh, I don't want to see all this stuff. I don't know. It depends on the amount of money that you're requesting. It depends on the amount that you're requesting. So typically, if you're requesting $150,000 or less, then you should be able to be fine with just submitting bank statements. So bank statements, they're going to look for your deposits. Okay, so we're going to look to see how much your business is depositing every month. Typically, where they're looking for a minimum $10,000 a month. We do have lenders that will work with $5,000 a month. But just to let you guys know, realistically, if you're making $10,000 a month, you're not going to get a $100,000 loan, right? So baby steps, work up to that. The great thing about it is you can get funded even if you are, just starting out and you're at that lower revenue amount. And then you build your relationships with your lenders, your bankers, your advisors, and you continue as you grow to open up that approval amount. And so when they're looking at your cash flow, if you're looking at a higher amount, over 150,000, then yes, they want to see those further documents. They want to see that your revenue is increasing year after year. They want to see that you have some kind of profit, right? And if you don't have any kind of profit, it is really hard to get an SBA loan. Is it impossible? I mean, nothing is impossible, but it is really much, much, much harder to get one. And the amount of money that they'll lend you is going to correlate with your revenue and your profit as well. So that brings me to the second one. The second one is credit. Okay, we talked about cash flow. Now we're going on to credit. There's two sides to this, you guys. First, you need to have some type of established business credit. Established business credit is going to change the game for you, okay? If you eventually are going to be seeking an SBA loan for maybe you're going to be moving into a location, or you want to buy another business, or you want to use the SBA funding for that, having business credit will 100% boost the opportunity or the chances that you have of getting of what that loan looks like, right? That loan in the terms. And you need good personal credit as well. Okay, so you need good personal credit as well. You need to have a 680, a 700 or higher, no recent derogatories, and absolutely no collections, okay, you guys, unless they're medical. And if you meet those requirements, Then that will take you to collateral. Okay, we talked about cash flow, we talked about credit. Now we're going on to collateral. All right, you guys. So does anybody here have collateral, right? You know what collateral is? Give me some examples. Equipment is collateral. Accounts receivables is collateral, right? Inventory is collateral. So those are some examples of collateral. Intellectual property can be collateral. Real estate can be collateral. So your vehicle can be collateral as well. So the SBA is going to want you to have some kind of asset, right? Some kind of asset that you can be used to pledge as collateral. And that's typically going to be equal to or more to the value of the loan that you're actually going to be getting. Y'all, my throat is all kinds of whacked up. Excuse me. Whew. Okay, so now if that's not enough, right? If you don't have enough collateral to actually cover the debt, then they'll look at things like your personal assets. So they may look at like your home. They can look at your stocks, your bonds, your 401ks. So they can look at that stuff too. But if you have these things, you guys, then there's a really good chance that you can get approved. Okay, so then once you've surveyed, right? If you were in the class that we had yesterday, Let's Get You Funded, one of the main topics that we covered was coming prepared, right? So if you have these things all aligned and all in order, then there's a really good chance that you're going to get approved. And then, so that at that point, what you want to do is move forward with the application process and figure out which type of SBA loan at that point that you would be applying for, right? So you're either going to be applying for the working capital SBA loan, which is the SBA 7A, right? And we do the SBA 7A Express loan, which are loans $500,000 and can go to $750,000, but $500,000 or less, and then we do a line of credit for $150,000. So that's our SBA Express. But what that means is it's basically for general business purposes. Okay. If you're going to be investing in like marketing, a marketing campaign, payroll, all the stuff that we do for entrepreneurs, right? Why would you need to invest in a marketing campaign, guys? Well, because it helps you bring in clients, right? So if you're going to be investing in Facebook ads, or if you need marketing budget because you want to start a lead generation, right? And you want it to be organic. That's going to have some cost to it, right? So, that's one example of what you could use it for. And then the other one is the SBA 504. And that one's typically going to be used for real estate, right? Fixed assets, things like that. Sometimes you can use it for equipment. But if you have fixed assets, then, like real estate, and you want to buy, right? Like I said, you want to buy a building or you want to buy a business, then that's where the 504 SBA would come in. But one tip, you guys, have you guys heard about microloans? If anybody hasn't yet heard about microloans, I want you to, wherever state you're in, Google CDFIs in your local community, okay? Always remember, you want to be in leveraging and starting to build relationships with your regional bank, community bank, and like a CDFI, right? We're in Sacramento. We have like California Capital Financial Development Corporation, and there's a whole bunch of others. And if you go on the SBA.gov website, they'll have a list of partners that they actually work with. So you can look in your state and you can identify which ones are closest to you, because SBA offers microloans, okay? And if you are a woman, if you are a minority, then the microloans are specifically, they are for underserved businesses, right? Underserved businesses are the fastest growing. Underserved entrepreneurs are the fastest growing, yet still have trouble accessing capital, right? So that's where these microloans really step in. And a lot of people aren't even really familiar with it, right? So it's unfortunate, because if you go to a bank, right? I don't know if any of you guys have been to the bank yet, but if you go to the bank, typically they don't even really tell you where to go. It depends. It depends. That's why you want to be building that relationship, right? Build that relationship so that they can tell you where to go next, okay? Because CDFIs are an excellent resource, but you do face that challenge of sometimes when you go into the bank, and especially before them not telling. I'll tell you a story, guys. Our managing director, right? Been in the industry over 40 years, okay? Over 40 years, y'all. 100% of our referrals come from banks, attorneys, other people in the finance industry, other equipment lenders, other partners, other people in business, but mostly from banks. And you know, over 40 years, probably closed around 1,000. In order to close around 1,000, had to look at over close to 3,000, over 2,500, and can count the number of women-owned businesses on two hands. Two hands, okay? Now, and he's not the only one, okay? I've talked with several male bankers, and it's the same thing. They were like, "Oh, you know what? You're right. Yeah, you know what? Now that I think about it, we get a lot of, or here's the other case. I was just having a conversation the other day. We get a lot of applications from women-owned businesses, but we just can't help some of them, right? So, what that tells me, and why do I even tell that story, is because that tells me that it's not that they're not going into the bank and applying. It's not when they were denied, there was no other resource for the given. Okay. And I know that firsthand. So, especially when I first entered this industry and at the business that I was working with, and clients would say, "Well, you know what, Dominique, where do I go next?" And at that company, there was no other option. They were just all about the dollars and the money, and they were just like, "Oh, well, if they don't get funded, then that's it." That's not cool, and that did not sit right with me, right? So went out there, found the resources, because we know that people are out there building businesses and applying. It's all about where do I go, right? What's the next step? So that's exactly why this platform and these resources exist. If this sounds familiar to you, then let me know, engage, right? So, but I'll put up the link for the SBA site if you don't have that, because you can go on, you can check it, and you can look at all of their subsidiaries, and you can apply through the CDFIs. And the CDFIs are really great because they do work with startup businesses. Okay, guys, remember how we talked about the SBAs looking at like for profit, right? Well, CDFIs are really great because they do work with startups. So if you're looking like for help with getting launched, then that's for you, right? They do like and if you're going to be doing that, you can do a dually with the SBDC and get an advisor as well. So they're a really, really, really great resource. Keep in mind, though, if you're going to be going that route, if you're a startup, if you don't have any type of revenue or any type of funding, you need to have a business plan put together. You should have one put together anyway. I wish I put a business plan together right when I started my business, you guys. It is crucial, crucial. And you know what? I'm going to put up this training video in the back office that really breaks down the business plan and the purpose of the business plan. Is this mentor I was speaking with, they actually do a business plan every single year, him and his wife, because it's important to sit down. When you measure where you're at, then just you triple your growth. Okay, guys. So that's just a couple of things to know about the SBA loan, and the CDFIs. But it's a really great resource if you are a startup. Now, once you found this product, right, and you know which one is that you are going to be pursuing, then that's where you go into preparation, right? Preparing your documentation. So, what do we mean by that? Well, they're going to do a personal background check. Okay, so they'll check. They want to check to see if you have, the normal stuff. Do you have felonies? Do you have misdemeanors? Also, they're looking at your profile. So your credit matters when you're looking for an SBA loan. So you also might need to provide something called a personal finance sheet, personal financial statement. Have you guys ever had to provide a personal financial statement, or do you have one? If you don't have one, I can send you a template just so you can take a look at that. If you need it, just send me a DM and I'll get that over to you. Now, one of the things that you can do when you're doing this whole preparation process, right? Okay, what did we do so far? We checked if we had cash flow. We checked if we had credit. We checked if we had collateral. We checked it to see, we know whether we're going for a 504 program or if we're going for the SBA 7A, because we know exactly what we're going to be doing, right? You know what your use of funds is for. It's not just, oh, I'm going to get the money and then I don't really know what I'm going to do with it. if you say that to an underwriter, you're going to get declined. It literally just happened. So keep that in mind, you guys. But when we're talking about the personal credit, one tool that can help you is something called LexisNexis. Okay. So LexisNexis is like the granddaddy of all business credit reports, right? When you're establishing your business credit, and we haven't gotten to that yet, but when we will though, but we haven't gotten to it yet, guys. So just bear with me here. But when you are establishing your business credit, you're going to be pulling your business credit reports, right? Simultaneously, you want to access your LexisNexis because your LexisNexis pretty much, it basically has everything on there. Okay. I'm talking like old parking tickets, your old address, everything is on there. You want to make sure you check that because sometimes things will get added on there that you didn't even know were there, right? Or there are things on there that don't belong to you, or things that don't apply. So you want to fill out your LexisNexis. The last time I did it, I went filled it out online. They send a huge packet in the mail. Then you'll get a code, and then you go online and you can print up your full document. But you want to be getting that. Secondly, you want your business financials. We talked about that, your bank statements. Now let's talk about the bank statements briefly for all my e-commerce people, all my vendors out there, all my independents that are out there doing your thing. Make sure if you're using apps like Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, any of these things that you are immediately depositing into your business bank account. Don't pay any bills first. Don't pay your bill, pay your bills, but deposit into your business bank account first, okay? Because if you go and you pay your bills first, right? Then it's going to reflect less cash flow. So it's going to reflect like you're making less than you actually are. I had a woman, she had 2 tax businesses, and I can't recall the exact reason. This was a while ago. She had 2 tax businesses and was getting paid in cash, and she would get the cash, and she was doing substantially well, get the cash, but then she had an agreement with the landlord, and she would go and pay the landlord first. I have no idea why, but that was what they were doing and how they had been doing it for a while, which did a real disservice to her because it looked like she was making a lot less than she actually was. So a couple of things to keep in mind, guys, okay? Profit loss, if you're asking for over 150,000 tax returns, all of those things, which if you need a business license, you'll have to submit that as well. So get comfortable kind of with the process. And the only way to get comfortable with this is to just kind of expect that you're going to have to turn in some paperwork. Expect that. If you don't want to do that, then we'd be looking at something like, a real quick like MCA loan, right? That's going to look at your revenue, revenue-based financing, and then push something out for you. But, at the same time, MCAs that's a whole nother conversation because it's like any other type of debt, right? It can be good or bad depending on how you use it. And I think that MCAs get a bad rap because we don't have the knowledge of how to use it, right? A lot of us, and there are a lot of businesses, and in the beginning, they just know that they need capital. And if you go to your bank and the bank says no, and all of the resources have been pulled, and your next resource is hey, I found this online lender, and it can get tricky, especially if you start stacking. Then you end up with all of these crazy daily payments. So we do NCAs as well, and they can work, but also I've seen it where we have had to step in and actually help solve the NCA issue for clients who, kind of got themselves into a bad situation because of that. So really, knowing all of how to come prepared, your use of funds is really going to help you guys. And then also, when you're having this conversation with your lender, right? And I want to go back to that. When you're having the conversation with your lender, they may ask you, have you ever had any loans before? Have you applied for any other loans? Don't lie, right? Just be transparent, because the reason why we ask that it's not like, do you have any other loans? No, it's because we want to know, okay, full transparency, get that picture, what's going on. Let's see how we can get you. Because, all right, if you have another loan out and you're seeking $50,000, the way that the underwriter is going to look at it is they're going to look at the payment that you're paying for that loan and then all of your other payments and see if you can handle this new payment that's going to come on, or can they consolidate it if it's a different type of situation. So if you cannot, you have lenders that will, which are considered predatory, that will still extend the loan at really high interest rates, knowing for sure that you damn sure can't pay it, right? But then you have other really ethical advisors like our team, where we tell you up front, listen, it's probably not, not going to be a good idea, and actually we won't even extend it if it is not going to make sense. We don't even it's just not something that's viable and something that we would want to take on. So in that case, what we would do is give you the strategies on how to get to where you're trying to go. If you can't qualify for any type of funding right now, you need to be establishing business credit. 100%. Okay. So when you're on the phone, I wanted to get back to that phone call and tell you, when you're speaking with the underwriter as you go through this process, right? You might have a couple conversations. You're going to have a conversation with the team. You're going to get that first call, that initial call where we talk about your business. Where are you going? What are you trying to achieve? And what is the situation? Now, right at the very end, right before you get funded, you will have that last funding call. And it really does matter what you say. That's why it's very important that you know what your use of funds is. It only serves you. Okay, it may seem uncomfortable, like, why is this person asking me this? But it truly only serves you, right? To try to put you in a good position. If you know, then you'll also know when someone's trying to bullshit you, right? So make sure that you're putting yourself in a really good position of power, right? Power, because you know exactly what you got going on. Okay. With the phone call with that gentleman, any type of, I don't know what I'm using the funds for, or if the story changes, or if something comes up at the last minute, that sounds risky for the lender, they'll back out. So, and then all of that work is done. So, if you ever have questions about this whole process as you move through it, leverage this platform, hit that follow button, that share button, that like button, and then come in and join the community. Now, when we were talking about CDFIs earlier, guys, you want to have a business plan. Remember, we mentioned that. So what goes into the business plan, right? Some people haven't even done the business plan. What goes into the business plan? Well, you want to have your executive summary in there. You want to have your market projections in there. You want to have your description, company description, which also has like the problem you solve and the solution, the structure, right? Your business model, organizational structure, how you're going to go to market, right? And then also your projections and the amount of funding that you're looking for, right? How much money you're looking for and what do you seek to do with that money? If you don't know maybe what an executive summary is and how to, put together your financial projections, that's okay. That's okay. That's why they have resources like the SBDC. And I have utilized the SBDC before when I was starting my business. I highly advise you to leverage it. Get a mentor, because mentorship is so valuable, you guys. It's so crucial. When you can find a mentor that really that you connect with, right? That actually is providing real value to you. It's unbelievable, right? So connect with the resources like that. And if you want to get real deep dive on, we have courses like Rise to Capital through our partners as well. Ernest Papadoyiannis, who raised millions of dollars in the aquaculture space, wrote that course. So, just something to think about. But if you've done these things already, right, you already have your business plan in place. And I'm not talking about a Canva business plan, okay? I'm not talking about, by the way, I love Canva. Okay, I'm in there a lot. But we're not talking about a Canva business plan. We're talking about like a legit, real business plan that has real data in it and real projection and real numbers. And when I talk about financial projections, and I'm in an accelerator right now, you guys, called Fourth Wave, and then also I'm pitching at this one local organization out here in Sacramento, Startup Sac. And they were just saying this, so I share this with you, was if you are projecting your financials, right? And let's say the market is $1 billion or $10 billion, whatever you're doing. Let's say you're in the hair industry, which I think it's more than that. I'm not sure. I'm not in the hair industry, but if you are in the beauty industry, right? Let's say that market is like $100 billion, and you're like, the beauty industry is $100 billion, and we seek to capture, a billion of that. Like that will automatically turn the investor off, right? That's not something that we usually think about. That number will turn the investor off because it's not realistic. So they'll be like, this person didn't do their research. So always slow down and do your research, okay? Because even the smallest thing like that, where you're like, oh, I got up there, I crushed it. The market is 100 billion. We're about to get a billion once we get out the gate. That will never happen. That doesn't happen. So you're just going to do yourself a disservice. So 100% go in there and just be like, the market is 100 billion. This many people in this area use our type of products for our type of hair. And on a smaller scale, we are going to be, reaching the people in our state or something like that, right? So really kind of honing it down, okay? And then next you want to apply through an approved lender, okay? Sounds easier said than done, but you want to apply through an approved lender. I advise you using our platform, Domino Effects Group, through this process because you also get that advisory component as well. Even when you start to establish your business credit, you get an additional advising team to help you out with that. But our advisors look at your individual situation and then determine the lender that'll be best for you. There's a lot of lenders that do SBA loans, right? You are going to go to the SBA Gov site and you're going to go check it out. That's going to be your homework for the weekend, okay? Now, one thing, let's talk about that, right? Because there's a lot of lenders out there, guys. What is some of the issues? Do you guys know what causes a lot of minority founders, female founders, a lot of diverse founders to get held back? Is because when you're applying online, you're not knowing who you're applying with. Every single lender has different restrictions. They have different requirements. They work with different industries. They are all different. They're not the same. And they all won't even go into all of their requirements. If you've ever tried applying for business credit and you've been denied and you're like, I don't know why, or they ask for your social security card, then that means something. That's a huge flag for you that something is off in your foundation, in your credibility, and you need to go back and you need to check something. You need to check your phone number, you need to check your address, you need to check the way it's spelled on the Secretary of State. Something is off, right? So it can be difficult and challenging, and I see it happen all the time. We've had clients that we could have literally gotten funded had they just come to us before they went online and started randomly applying. We had a client that she had like over 700 score. They were doing pretty well, but she had gone out and went car shopping, and she had like 22 inquiries on there. So that's but she was looking at an unsecured personal loan. So anyway, back to the platform. Some lenders work with certain industries and some won't. So we know exactly, we know which lenders work with who. We know we've vetted out the lenders that we trust, right? So we're not working with any predatory lenders or anything like that. We want no part of it. And, really try to work with you on a really individual level as far as how to find the best lender for you, especially if you're going to be seeking the SBA loan. So Domino Effects Group can help you guys along the way. Go to dominoeffectsgroup.com/get started and just go ahead and fill out that short questionnaire and somebody will be following back up with you. But next, you guys are going to have to coordinate with your advisor so that you can get all of these documents in a row, okay? Whether that be your accountant, maybe you're already working with a banker, or you have an advisor, right? But whoever that is, or your partner. So you want to be working together to guide these gather these documents together. Get a binder, keep it all together, right? If you're a corporation, you should have the kit. So okay. And then if you are, let's talk about the timelines. So SBA timelines can take a while. I've seen an SBA loan close in 3 weeks, rare, and or at least that was my only one that I seen close in 3 weeks. But it can be simple and it can be easy, and it doesn't have to be a 7, 8, 9, 10 month long process, right? We've had clients that went to the bank and they were waiting for the SBA loan and they actually backed out at the last minute. So like I said, there's leverage in preparation, there's leverage in knowing, right? But if we don't know, well, we don't know. So that's why you're here. You guys have already taken the first step. So you're already doing exactly what you need to do. I'm super proud of you for executing and taking advantage and control of your life, right? So once you actually, submit everything, then you'll wait for your approvals, right? And see, and then get your SBA funding, right? So typically after your approval, you can get that within a week, right? But that's after everything is signed and everything is verified, and they're like, okay, congratulations, we're ready to give you this funding. So guys, we went over some strategies and requirements to get the SBA loan, how you can get approved, and there are a few things that you want to be aware of. Now, you want to prepare for some delays. Okay. There are delays that happen. It happens. It's actually happening with us right now. We have a client, and our lender is going through a capital raise. So they have a delay in distributing their funds. So it happens, guys. Now, can it be stressful? Yes, but that's why you're doing that inner work as well, so that you're not stressing, because you don't ever want to be operating from a place of like desperation, frustration. Oh, I gotta get this, because it blocks you from receiving what is naturally supposed to come to you. That's gold, right? Like, that's gold. It's so true. It is so true, y'all. Okay, so take a deep breath. No, expect delays, and you can handle the delays when you're not waiting till the last minute. And if we wait till the last minute, that's when we're procrastinating, we're freaking out. Oh, I got to get this done. I'm not going to be able to make payroll. I'm not going to be able to, make this payment, whatever it is. Now you're more stressed out. Now you can't focus on the day-to-day operations of what you need to get done. So how do you avoid that? Boom, back it up, and don't wait to apply to the last minute. Do it ahead of time. Start now. Okay, start getting prepared now. It'll be way faster, because when you're ready, it's just going to be a boom, smooth transition. Okay, that's the goal here, is to help you get to that point where it's just a boom, smooth transition, right? So the next time that you apply, good thing about that is, if this is your first time going for funding and you're doing all this and getting all your documents together, the good thing is the next time it's going to be a much easier process for you. You know exactly what to do. You know exactly what to say. You're going in there knowing, okay, so they're going to hit you with whatever question they hit you with. You know exactly what's going on, because you are aware of what all the ins and outs of your business, right? You know exactly what's going on. You know how much cash flow you have. Maybe I don't have collateral right now, but I'm going to get this funding, and it's going to allow me to do my marketing campaign, and then I'm going to boost that up. I'm going to get some sales, and I'm going to get up my cash flow. Then I'm going to come back and I'm going to revisit this, right? What's the strategy? So that preparation is really just doing a huge service for you in the long run, okay? So it really just depends on you also how long this process takes. If you're looking at something other than an SBA loan, same thing, really depends on you when you get the documents in. If we tell you to get the documents in, get them in quickly, which a lot of people are really good about getting the documents in quickly, but make sure you're on top of it. And then also be aware, if you wait a while to get the documents in and then you send it in on a Friday, it's probably not going to have an answer on Monday, right? You sent it in Friday afternoon, and we need to have time to review it, so we can get back to you probably Monday or Tuesday, later Monday or Tuesday. So expect delays. Now, does it always mean there's going to be a delay? No, but expect it, and just know that you're going to be okay with it, right? You'll be zen. So, but the SBA loans can close, and expect 45 days or less. Expect 45 days or less on this platform once the package is submitted. So that's not 45 days from when you apply. Okay, just to be clear. So once you apply, that just starts the process. You do the phone call, you do your interview, we do, all of that, gather the documents, verify everything, due diligence, all of that. But once your package goes out, then it's 2 weeks from there, because the lender has already been identified before we even move forward. We've already identified a lender that will match with you, and then we write the term sheet and then move forward. So my other piece of advice, my other big piece of advice, you guys, is establish your business credit. 100%. If you are, I was just talking with a gentleman who has a trucking company and wants to expand and is renting every week, is paying rental every week on top of the gas and the maintenance and everything else. And so all of the cash flow is going into the rental, right, at Enterprise. So, you guys can do there's so many other ways. And, you just have to copy the strategies. Let me plug my computer in here. All right, you got to copy the strategies that the really successful, wealthy companies did. That's what motivated me. I'm like, what's going on here, right? What's going on? I'm fascinated by Warren Buffett, Mark Cuban, how the Rockefellers, the Hormozi, how they were able to build that, right? Robert Johnson, BET, John Hope Bryant, all of these really successful companies, right? And individuals, they all use the same methods, y'all. It's no lie. They all use the same methods. So, and then also just think about your own situation, right? Think about your own situation. How many times do you want to keep doing the same thing over and over again? I don't know about you, but banging my head against the wall isn't fun. And as somebody who has done it, it's very frustrating, and it just drags out the process. If you know that you don't have the credit right now, if you know you don't have the cash flow right now, and you know you don't have the collateral right now, you need a strategy. You need a strategy because even right now, you're working towards getting there, right? So you're working towards getting there. You've told yourself it's going to happen. You're going to make it happen, right? So if you're going to make it happen, why not set yourself up in the best possible way, so that when that day comes and you're ready to apply, you can either get a lower amount or you can get the best that you could possibly get. Because by that time, you're going to be working anyway, getting up to that point. You don't have the cash flow yet. You don't have the credit. You don't have the collateral. You got to work to get your sales up. You got to work to do all this stuff. You got to invest in your marketing. How can you do that? Well, you can either use your personal credit cards and continue to, mess up your utilization, your personal DTI, that home that you're trying to get. If you hit up all the inquiries, if you're looking for a home and you have a business, you're either not going to look for a loan, right? Or you're going to risk not getting it because you're applying at random places and you don't know what the requirements are. So you should absolutely be establishing business credit. It's something that you can do on your own. We have free resources and a free business credit guide, which I have in the description down below. So a free business credit guide, you can start on your own, guys. You can start today. But I highly recommend you do not go out and apply until you first confirm everything is established on your credibility, okay? So, you guys, that is it for today. It's Friday. It's Friday. What are you guys doing this weekend? Because, what am I doing? Oh, I'm surprised I'm even awake right now. I've been up since midnight last night. redoing the website for our Show Her the Money show. Show Her the Money is a film that it demystifies venture capital for female founders, and really celebrates the women that were able to push through and raise capital, okay? Million, 10 million, 12 million, 200,000. These women are, it's amazing. So it's amazing opportunity. So I've got a new website coming up. So be on the lookout for that. It was supposed to be released yesterday, but we had to do some, make sure everything was set up for the payment links and all the videos were on there. And you're going to see some really cool footage from one of our sponsors, Fourth Wave. Fourth Wave is a accelerator for women in tech in Sacramento, and they provide some amazing mentorship. So it's just going to be a really, really fun event. If you're in Sacramento, then you need to be there, guys. We'll have a small business showcase. It's women, it's money, it's show her the money, y'all. So that's my new tagline for it. Do you like it? It's women, it's money, it's show her the money. I love it. All right, you guys. So hopefully you're leaving here with some tools in your tool belt. That's the whole purpose of class. We went over how to get an SBA loan. Why did we do this? You may not be there yet, but we don't want to wait until that point, right? Start gathering these pieces now. You don't have to get all freaked out and be like, oh, I got to go get this right now. I got to get this right now. I don't have this. Start with what you have, okay? Start with what you have. Just start putting it together, and then reach out to the financing team, your advising team. You can set up a scheduling call with me and we can go into it. You know, we can talk about your plan because you don't have to do what you've been doing, right? If it hasn't been working, there's other ways. We're creating new ways of accessing capital. You know, you don't have to keep banging your head against the wall. You don't have to keep wasting time. You can be present with your family now. Have you guys ever been like, you're at home, your kids are talking to you, but you're thinking about, oh, did I turn in that document? So you're not even hearing what they're saying, right? They can feel that, you guys. So, you know, it's really important that you be present. And I only say this as somebody, and I'm talking about from my experience. So it just makes the process go a lot smoother. And already, you know, connecting with communities like this, connecting with programs like this, and making sure that you schedule your funding session at plan.dominoeffectsgroup.com so that we can help you see exactly what you qualify for right now. And if you don't, get you the steps, you know, that you need to take in order to get there. And don't forget to download that free guide on how you can start establishing your business credit. And guys, go back to the video that we did yesterday. I threw in about 9 tier 1 vendors on a business credit. So go back in, watch that video. There's 9 free vendors in there, and I threw in some grants as well. So, you know, and a lot of those deadlines are at the end of the month. So get hustling on those. So, all right, you guys, that's all I got for you today. We went over the changes that you can make right now in order to get more approvals for your SBA. Don't forget to follow, like, subscribe if you found this information helpful so that we can continue to grow and provide you with some better information. And guess what? In 2 months, I got a really cool guest speaker coming for all my real estate people out there and all my people who have the same goal as me. My goal, for those of you that don't know, one of them is to have a portfolio of 5 cash flowing properties, right? So we're going to be bringing in a gentleman that I've known for a while. His name is James. He has an extremely successful firm. He does seller financing. He is a seller financer. So he will finance deals in real estate, residential, and then also will finance deals in if you want to purchase a business, right? And why would you want to do that? Well, it's from the buyer and seller perspective. If you're a seller and you're selling your business, if you live in a place like California, where you're going to get, I almost cuss. I don't know if I can cuss on these platforms, but you're going to get, you know, killed on how much they're going to actually take out when you sell the business. So they look to do seller financing, where the actual buyer pays to the seller instead of paying the bank. So the seller acts as the bank, and they have an agreement, they have a contract. But we can't cover that right now in like 2 minutes. It's really, really, really fascinating, cool concept, guys. So James will be coming in. He'll be coming in 2 months, and he'll be talking about some of the deals that he does, the processes. They have millions and millions of dollars assets under management. So a lot of experience in this field. He's been doing it for a long time. He's an excellent, excellent guy to come in and ask your questions to. So I'll keep you guys posted on the date, but it's not going to be for another 2 months. So August, September, October, we're looking at October. So just spoke with him, and he's looking forward to coming in and giving us some sauce, right? So, all right, you guys, follow, like, subscribe. I love you guys. I appreciate you all. Let me know what you need, and then put it in the portal, and I'll make sure that I get it up there for you as well. If you don't have the link to the portal, then I'll go ahead and shoot it on the Facebook page and on the YouTube. But happy Friday, guys. Go enjoy yourself, okay? Now you can take those boots off.